Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we're unpacking a concept that literally has the power to completely transform any retail space. We're talking about the absolute magic of visual storytelling in merchandising. See, we aren't just talking about, putting things on shelves. We're talking about crafting an actual experience. When you really master the principles we're about to cover, you totally shift from simply selling individual items to creating these immersive, irresistible worlds for your customers. So let's jump right into it. Okay, I want you to visualize something for a second. Think about the last time you walked past a vendor booth or a retail display. Why is it that some displays absolutely pull us in, like a magnet that makes you want to explore every single corner, while others just feel, well, kind of like a chaotic garage sale, right? Unless you're literally trying to sell your old lawnmower, you definitely know the feeling. In one space, you're enchanted. In the other, you're just overwhelmed and confused. And here's the thing. The difference between those two reactions, it isn't about the quality of the products themselves. It's entirely about how those products are presented. And that actually brings us to the formal definition of merchandising. At its core, it is visual storytelling. A strong display shouldn't just act as a physical placeholder for your products. It really needs to help customers instantly understand a theme, imagine how they might use an item, feel a specific emotion, or discover a fascinating little world. Instead of picking up an item and just asking, where can we fit this? This explainer is going to challenge you to start asking, what story are we telling with this entire group of products? A great story is that invisible thread that makes totally separate, distinct items feel deeply connected. Section 1. Beyond the basic display. Moving from products to a scene. This right here is the fundamental mindset shift we really need to make today. Think about the massive difference between inventory and story. A random group of products just sitting on a table, that's just lifeless inventory. But when you take a coordinated group of products with a shared idea, that suddenly becomes a themed assortment. And when you take that themed assortment and actually arrange it to communicate a specific idea, boom, congratulations, you've just built a merchandising story. Let's actually dive into this with a really fun, practical example. Imagine you sell dragon figures. If you just scatter random dragons across the table, your customers honestly don't know where to look. But let's give it the dragon hatchery makeover. We start by bringing in some eggs and tiny hatchlings. Then we place baby dragons nearby, eventually leading all the way up to your larger premium statement dragons. Throw in some themed signage that says Dragon Hatchery, and suddenly we've created a clear, natural progression from small, entry-level items right up to the premium ones. It's an immersive world now. Customers instantly understand what they're looking at, how all these pieces relate to one another, and exactly where they should begin their shopping journey. Section 2. Building your merchandising story, the 6-step framework. So, how do we actually build this out in the real world? Well, we're going to walk through an incredibly effective 6-step framework. From choosing your initial story all the way to rotating it for freshness, we're going to keep building on our dragon example to see exactly how this comes to life. Step 1 is all about absolute clarity. You must start with one simple idea. Whether it's our dragon hatchery, maybe an enchanted forest, a build-your-own clicker station, a holiday gift workshop, or honestly, even just a section for tiny things under $10. The rule here is that the theme has to be incredibly easy to understand in just a few seconds. If a customer has to stand there and literally solve a riddle to figure out what your table is about, yeah, you've already lost them. Keep it simple, clear, and highly evocative. Now, there's a golden rule for step 2. The assortment should feel like one family, not a garage sale. Once you've got your story, you build your assortment entirely around it. This means you only choose products that actively support the theme. You have to resist that urge to just cram unrelated products into the display just because you happen to have some empty space. A true themed assortment is a carefully curated family. It should naturally include your entry-level impulse items, your core products, maybe some interactive elements, and of course your premium statement pieces. They all belong together. Moving on to step 3. Earning attention with a focal point. Every single display out there needs something that essentially forces the customer to look at it first. You have to earn their attention before you can ever hope to sell to them. Your focal point could be that one massive, gorgeous premium product. It could be a beautifully designed sign with a punchy theme name. Maybe it's a highly dramatic grouping of colors, a moving interactive piece, or even a vending machine like a gachapop. The secret formula here is super simple. The focal point earns the attention and the rest of the display rewards it. Right, so steps 4 and 5, they really work together in total harmony. Once you have their attention, you have to create a natural path through the display. You arrange your products so the customer intuitively understands what to look at next. You can guide their eye through height, size progression, color blocks, or even price. Think of your display as a visual sentence. It needs a clear beginning, middle, and end. And as they read that visual sentence, the products actually have to support each other. If you place a dragon egg right beside the tiny hatchlings, the visual relationship explains itself instantly. If you put a massive premium dragon right next to the smaller ones, it instantly creates aspiration. A truly great display answers the customer's questions before they even have to ask them. Section 3. The power of reframing. Freshness without new inventory. And this brings us to step 6, which is, frankly, a total game changer for your budget. You need to rotate stories, not just products. Keeping your merchandising feeling fresh does not always require you to go out and buy entirely new inventory. The exact same products can feel completely brand new when you simply regroup them into a different story. Just think about it. A single small creature figurine could be placed in an enchanted forest display in the spring. Then come winter, it becomes part of a stocking stuffer story. Later on, it's grouped into tiny treasures, or maybe it becomes the star of Mystery Creature Week. Reframing your merchandise creates this awesome sense of novelty and freshness without requiring a single new SKU. Section 4. Why storytelling sells. The psychology of the sale. Let's look at the actual psychology and the ROI behind this. Why go through all this effort just to tell a story? Well, because storytelling displays directly impact your bottom line. A narrative approach makes your booth instantly easier to understand. It massively increases your stopping power, like people literally physically halt to look at a cool scene. It encourages way longer browsing times. But honestly, most importantly, it creates an emotional connection. When customers see a cohesive world, it helps them imagine ownership or gifting. It naturally encourages multiple item purchases because, in the customer's mind, the items literally belong together. And it makes your premium, higher-priced products feel so much more intentional and valuable rather than just being expensive objects sitting alone on a random table. Look, if you take absolutely nothing else away from today, please remember this absolutely crucial point. Do not just display products. Create a reason for them to belong together. This is the core lesson of literally everything we're looking at today. Intentionality is exactly what separates a mediocre retail space from a completely unforgettable one. If you can give your products a reason to exist side by side, your customer will find a reason to buy them side by side. When we put this all together, it builds what we can call the ultimate conversion equation. Step 1, you know your target avatar, your ideal customer. Step 2, you create a theme that speaks directly to them. Step 3, you curate an assortment of products that fit perfectly within that theme. Step 4, you arrange them into a beautiful guided display. Step 5, that carefully curated display triggers an emotion, wonder, nostalgia, excitement. And finally, step 6, that emotion translates directly into a sale. When a customer understands this story, your merchandise automatically feels more intentional, more memorable, and incredibly valuable. Which brings us to our final thought for today. I really want you to mentally walk through your current retail space, your latest event booth, or even just your product catalog. Ask yourself honestly, what story are your products telling right now? Are they just taking up space, kind of hoping someone notices them? Or are they actively working together to pull your customers into an immersive, irresistible world? It's time to stop managing inventory and start telling your story. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see the worlds you build.